Okay. I think we're okay here. Stream is streaming. Music is musicking. Everything is all... The stars have aligned. Good evening, or good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on? It grows. Feed them horses. Alright guys, so today I got some coffee. We're gonna be doing some throwing off the wheel here, right behind me. We're gonna be doing some of that. Throwing off the hump. We cruised through the other ones. You know, I'm starting to think maybe I gotta speed up. I was just wondering, I feel like it's better to do like smaller stream segments, like hour-long streams. I feel like are good because I think each time I come down here and it's a new day, I'm thinking about different things. And it just is a little bit more energetic when there's like this idea of a rush. I feel like where I think sometimes when I get a little bit too, what's the word? Like the stream gets too long. Like I feel like it feels like a lulling, like you know, where I kind of like this like zip 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 zip. Zip. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'll see you guys over there in a second. Ka-chow. All right, camera B. Camera B. Okay. So we will be looking this up. Because I was like, maybe I should just start throwing a whole bag. You know? Because a whole bag, realistically, I could do the whole bag if I'm throwing off the hump. I think I could do the whole bag if I was flooring it in an hour and a half. If I was throwing multiple pieces off the hump. Obviously it depends more of how many things I'm throwing. Because I could probably throw the whole chunk in like 10 minutes if I was just one big chunk, right? But oh, I love this song, by the way. Somebody's here. Somebody said, "Hi, bro. What are you doing?" I'm wedging some clay right now. Okay. Camera A. All right. Let's grab our coffee. Then we can zoom in here. And then we'll start getting into it here, guys. Camera A. Maybe here will be good. We don't have any water. We gotta get some water. I don't know what's the deal, but it seems like whenever I do my pottery stuff, my clay always smells good. But whenever I see or whenever I'm doing stuff at different studios, all these studios have like the smelliest, stinkiest clay. Like whenever I mix my reclaim, I'm so used to reclaiming smelling really bad. But when I mix my own reclaim, there's no smell. So that makes me wonder, what are people putting in this reclaim that's making it stink so bad? Like I was under the impression that reclaim just always stinks, but no. This is pre-recorded, huh? No. All right. Wheel. Camera B. So you can see this back hand here on this left hand is trying to scoop up and underneath, right? As this right hand here is going to go right up and push into this. I wonder why people always say this is pre-recorded. Like, am I doing something? Or does it just have that vibe? Alright, so here's our first little thing here. Then we're right underneath again. And it's always we push that hand in first. And you see how it's going to get more wobbly on that top before it's going to straighten out? Camera A. You bring it back down. You see how my bat is kind of lifting up a little bit? All right. And we'll just start throwing off the hump here. So bring this up. Zoom. Okay. Come in. Thumb out. Thumb up. And here we'll give us space. A little bit off here. Doesn't that feel a little bit off on the top? Like it's probably hard to see. All right. Anyway. Water on the inside. So we're trying to find this little bump, right? The bump will come out and it'll say hello to us. Let me say hello to the bump. Here it is. You guys see that? And so my finger's right underneath this bump. And we're going to just slowly walk this out first. We're feeling when it's thin, it's getting thin, we're going to go out over top. Then we're going to do that same thing and allow that to transfer over so we can create this nice little double bump here. And then usually we don't like those lines on that double bump. You can kind of see on that top part. So we're going to take our little wooden rib tool. We're going to slowly smooth out some of those lines. Nice. Desk. What's that other one called? Shelf, sorry. Shelf? Alrighty guys. I'm gonna take this little bottom part here. Right underneath, clean our wire off. Way through. I mean, realistically, I should wipe my hands off on something other than my pants right away, but I don't really care too much. So it just gets all wiped off on the pants. Pop this off. We come over here. We say, hello, welcome to the board, my friend. Camera A. Alrighty. Right on the top here. I'm in. You struggle so much with cutting pieces off the hump. That was clean. Okay, let me, on this next one, let me get to there and then I'll show you about what I'm doing to help me out with that. Does that sound good, dude? All right. Again, right underneath. Smooth this out. Let it come up a little bit towards the finger here. Stop. Then I get on the little bump. I want to walk this up the rest of the way here. Something that's a little bit more square-like, right? And I love the way, like, look at the way that light kind of hits that edge of this vessel and creates a sharp shadow, right? On a table, it's gonna look like this thing's just trying to climb right off the table into the sky. Okay. Zoom. All right. Smooth out this little. Again, so, you know what, I'm gonna make two little lines here. I just wanted something. I just wanted something there. Okay, so again, so how I get it off the hump, right? Right now, you see how it's pretty level on the top. I'm not worrying too much about if this gets off when I push down here, right? Because if it's level now, when I flip it over, it's gonna be level to this rim, right? It's not gonna be level to the base. So the base will be uneven, but you just kind of take it, you trim it off, right? Okay, so I take this tool here, camera B, space. Okay, so do you see how I'm taking this? I'm kind of sticking it right underneath this edge here, right? And I have my sponge hanging over it because the water's gonna help you cut through, right? And I'm holding it at like a 45-degree angle here, and I'm slowly pushing down, and I'm sliding the tool in, right? So as I'm pushing down and sliding the tool in, you'll see how much I separate off. Camera A. Like a bunch of clay now, right? So now I have a ton of solid clay underneath here. So it's gonna help if you have some more clay to grab onto when you're throwing off the hump, so then you don't distort any of that stuff on the top. You're gonna have to trim off more, but hey, think about it this way. Now you get some tall feet, right? Now I take this little wire and I'm holding it, kind of choking up on it with my finger and my thumb there, and I'm sliding it through. And I'm not trying to go all the way through, I'm trying to go halfway, and as soon as I'm halfway, I'll feel it hit that halfway mark, and it just kind of will slump over, and then desk. Why do I always do that? Mini wheel? Mini wheel? No, it's shelf. There we go. Now I'm right underneath with my fingers into this thick part, right? I'm not trying to touch any of that stuff on that top area there, so then I can just set that right down. on that shelf without distorting that top rim really at all, right? So that's how I do it. I think a lot of times people are not leaving themselves enough clay on that bottom part. Camera A. Oh, I can just do that. People aren't leaving enough stuff on that bottom part for them to actually do what they intended with that clay, right? Like they want to take it off, they want to like not have it distort. People are going way too thin on the bottoms, and then they're trying to touch the walls. Only touch that base, because that's really holding it all together, right? Okay. Good evening. What am I making today? I'm just making the batch number 3 of like these cups I've been making. I've been making these cups. So this is batch number 3 of these kind of cups that deal with discard in some way. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm in. A bit of water. Thumb out. Thumb up. Water. First pull is really not about getting height, it's about evening out clay. Sometimes you get height from that, but the goal shouldn't be to get height on that first pull. Even sometimes on the second and third pull, I'm really trying to just get some more height in there, right? You don't really need a collar like what I did there. I'm just trying to see what I want to make this vessel. I'm just kind of letting it speak to me a little bit. So I'm out. And I gotta do something with this, right? So this one, to me, we'll try something, but I'm not sure if it's really gonna work. So we'll see if we can get a tree cup, right? So we're just trying to exaggerate. Oh, I kind of screwed up that side here. These little, I don't even know what I call them, grooves. And get them thin enough to where when I pull out, they want to twist up here, right? And so it's kind of an ode to like our little tree forms. And then hopefully we don't collapse it too much on the inside that we make it really difficult to clean, right? Like you just want to do it a little bit. You kind of want a nice bevel on here so it makes it a little bit more like kind of exciting to put your lips to, right? Like if you have like a rim that doesn't have like I feel like a nice like drawing in kind of form, then I just don't even know if I'd mess around with it, right? Like I almost want the form to like seduce me to use it a little bit, right? So sometimes I feel like a lot of that has to do with some small little parts on the vessel that usually go like unnoticed to normal like usage, right? But like the rim, the bottom, the way it feels, you know, like what does the foot do for it? Is there any handles? Is that adding to the vessel at all? All right. Shelf. Okay. Right underneath here. I got that. Nice. There we go, guys. Camera A. Camera A. Oh, we are at camera A already. All right. So that's kind of like a tree cup, right? So using the general tree form to create a little cup there. I wanted to do another one of these. I didn't do a lot of really nice ones last time, so I'll do more variation of these, I don't even know what I call them, like a screw cup. Somebody says hello. Somebody says hello, demon, thank you. Hello to you as well. Collar this in. The key with this sort of vessel is really making sure that first you have the bottom defined, right? Is it even? It looks all nice and even, right? Alrighty. I could probably pull this up a little bit more because I do want to have like a nice bottom, but I don't want to get it too much thinner than this. Alright. We're going to use the side of this tool here. And we're going to just wipe this off just a little bit. Let's see here. You kind of get these little grooves there. So the thing that we were messing up last time is that we kept cutting into them too deep. So we're going to use just like a needle tool, which already kind of seems like a bad idea. We're just going to kind of scratch this surface. Zoom. Zoom. It's close enough. Not perfect, but doesn't matter too much. But we're just trying to cut through. Where's start going? On the inside here. Oh. We gotta watch out because so yesterday I cut my finger on some cardboard. I don't know if you guys can see that little cut. You guys see that? It's actually pretty deep. So I'm gonna do this in 2 pulls because I felt like the skin was pulling back on it and it was making me feel nauseous. And so I'm going to stop there, I think, just because it's getting a little bit, I can feel it getting thin where I made those cuts. Kind of fun, right? Just something different, right? Trying to lean into some of like the weird happenings on the wheel. Trying to like, cool to see you do something different from the trees. It's so funny, I feel like I haven't been doing the trees in like probably almost like getting close to half a year now. I haven't done a single tree. So it's interesting. I feel like I think it's only because I had one video that did pretty well with the trees, so now I think people think of me as tree clay eating gentleman. But like the tree thing was just one project. That was just the doing the trees every day for the year thing. But once I finish that, like I'm not bound to trees. It was just one project in the sea of many to come, you know. Where's that wire at? There we go. Shelf. Halfway. Alrighty, buddy. Alright. So after each time, I'm just going to take some of this clay that got folded over on that top and just remove it, because it's just not going to stick. So I'd rather get it off now than have to deal with it a little bit later. Alright. Again, thumb in, thumb out, thumb up. Taking this up, round that off. Whole vessel. Underneath. Even out those walls. Think about shape for a second. We're probably going to do wide on base, double bump, we can do a little bit wider so we can emphasize the double bump we're going to go for here. You'll see it in a second. Okay. The water. Fingers underneath. Slowly walking myself to the corner here. Now lifting up as I reach this corner. Stopping for a second. And try to go in. And then take that second bump. And you see how there's a second bump that we just formed there? Just curl that in. There we go. A little double bump there. And you see, like when I'm doing this, I'm like barely touching the wheel, and I'm also trying to make sure that when I am touching the clay, that I'm really soft with how much I'm touching the clay, right? Like once you get it thin enough, it's almost like you barely have to put any pressure on. You know, you always say here, like your pottery professors would be like, "Let the wheel do the work," right? It's true, but it's also, I feel like I hear it a lot, so now I'm like tired of hearing it. Plus, I don't want to give the wheel credit. You're in competition with the wheel. The wheel is your rival, you know? It is both the thing that gives and takes, right? And I want to conquer it. The water underneath. So you'll see, like, why is what I'm doing a problem? Do you see how you get this little fold? There's like water that's stuck underneath here. That's gonna fold over, and that's gonna cause water to get underneath that layer, and that's what gives you like those weird little onion rings if you ever get those. So usually I should be a little bit better about how I do that bottom, but you know, I don't care if I lose a little bit. Wipe our hands. There we go. Right over here. Oh, we're saying hello. Nice. Alright. Okay, I'm going to push in just a little bit. Round that off. Get ready again. Take our thumb, slowly feed that into that left hand there. Thumb in. Thumb out. curl those fingers up underneath. Walk that up. I wish you guys could see, like, I know I have another angle, but I feel like my hands are all over the clay, like, like you can't really see some of the subtle movements of my fingers. So I feel like that's the only thing that's bad about throwing off the hump for the visual aspect of it for the stream is I feel like when I throw off the hump I kind of hide a lot of what I'm doing with my fingers just because my hands are all over the place. How much clay do we have there? Let's do something like a weird little diamond shape. Maybe not like a diamond, like a triangle. And some water underneath. Finger pushing up into that clay just a little bit, right? And how I always feel about the clay when you're doing a pole, it's really like you're kind of leading that pole, right? Like it's like I imagine it's like my outside hand is like the dog walker and my inside hand is the dog trying to run out in front, right? Like it's almost like dragging this hand up with it, right? This hand on the outside, it's like getting dragged up because this one's like trying to run away. It's like, I'm leaving, but this one's staying close. It's like, no, you're coming back, right? So you gotta have like that tension. I think that's really what it is there's a certain tension between those two fingers. And the tension doesn't just mean like you're flexing your hand the whole entire way, right? Tension means tension. Does that make sense? Like, tension isn't like I'm flexing my forearm while I'm like on the wheel, or like every muscle fiber in my hand is flexed, right? Like this is not the sort of tension that I'm talking about. Like, do you see how it looks like a creepy monster? Like that's not the tension. The tension I'm talking about is imagine there's like a little, like for all you Gen Zers out there who watching Demon Slayer, the anime, right? Do you know that times when Tanjiro, he like sees that little string and then it just like, it directs where his blade needs to go? That's the same thing. There's like a string in between these two fingers that's just tight, right? And you can't like pull one away from the other because it's already tight. That's really what I mean by the tension, right? Yeah. All right. So right out over top of this, and we wanted to make that kind of like a little diamond triangle shape thing here. Move from the top. Kind of like this little bead of thick clay. I think we're probably going to keep that little bead as we flare this out. I think that looks kind of nice. Okay. Alright, smooth out this top rim here. No hiding your super great explaining. Thank you, CJ. If you don't leave enough clay at the bottom, you can end up breaking through while you're trimming the foot. Am I right? Oh gosh. Dude. You can't be cursing me this early in the week, man. You gotta give me good vibes here. The trimming I did off stream for last week, so I didn't do any trimming streams. I feel like I'm done doing trimming streams. Trimming streams are so boring, dude. It's not where it's at. Okay. We'll get this here. Dynamic tension between two hands. Yep. What made me want to start this cup off the hump project? You know, there was a sense of like growth that was happening when I was doing all my trees, right? So like when I was doing all my trees, I was like, every day my room sort of got filled up a little bit more over time, right? So I kind of like, there's like time that's like embedded into the process of making, right? Like you see like this tangible sense of growth. I think I kind of like the opposite of this. Like when I was doing some other stuff earlier before I got into this cup thing, is like, here, camera A, camera A, camera A, yeah, there we go. So it's like, when I start with one mound, I kind of like to see during the course of the stream, it's slowly getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And so it's also nice for like I'm not really thinking about what I want the forms to be, right? Every single form so far was just totally in its own thing. It wasn't really like trying to do, like, I didn't go into it with an intent other than I need to get through this clay. The intention is getting through the clay, and then the results is sort of the defecate or like the discard from that process of getting through this, right? You see how the focus is a little bit different there? Lou Gaming says, can you do an edit? I can do an edit for you. Sure, bud. You get one, and then Alright, let me wash my hands. Where's my sponge? Alright. I wish I could show you guys some of my newest edits. My new ones I feel like are cruising, dude. But I got ones from, I'll show you one from a couple days ago. Alright, hold on, pause. Overlay. I usually have it, I need to still fix this. I used to have it where I could just say it and then all of a sudden it's all fine and dandy. But how about we do, actually don't know which one. Kind of like maybe this one. Camera A. There you go. You get a little edit there. Back to our music. If you ever want to see like I feel like you guys can see like most of my newest edits on my Instagram. I feel like on my YouTube shorts, I kind of just spam like small edited clips like from my streams. But my YouTube kind of gets like my more edited things. Hello, you popped up on my recommended, which is crazy because I'm planning on going to some classes for pottery. Eventually, I'd like to glass blow, but that's in the near future. Cool, that's pretty awesome, yo. I hope you like it. Glass blowing is cool. I think the only reason I never got into the glass blowing is the part that I need to be around like people, right? Like I didn't like the fact that I had to be like I might have to have somebody help me to make something. That kind of drove me crazy because usually what I found out is like when I get into something, like I find that I don't really have like buddies around me who are that into the same thing, you know, like nobody's gonna like work really, really late at night with me on like some project, right? So I was like, well, you know what, I'll just do the pottery thing. But if you can find people, it'd be a cool thing to get into, that's for sure. Do I work from my apartment or do I have a studio? I work from my apartment. But I work at a couple of like art centers, so I can fire some of my stuff there. But like, for example, the trees, it's just, what am I gonna do? Drop 1,000 something pots in a studio spot that's not meant for like, it's meant for like beginners to start their pottery journey or whatever. I feel like I'd piss a lot of people off if I did that. What I do with all the trees, they're literally just, yeah, I'll show you. You're gonna have to see the end of this video, so apologize. You're gonna have to wait through another weird little edited thing of David Goggins. But I haven't moved them like one bit, except from out of the basement here.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 30 days ain't gonna do shit.
You guys can still hear me while I'm doing this.
The permanent, you wanna make it permanent. Permanent, you start talking about a year, 18 months, 2 years,
talking about,
that's a sacrifice.
I love David Goggins.
And when you commit yourself to something for a year, you're not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna let that go.
It will definitely
because in your mind,
a little bit.
I mean, you have it clear as day. That year took a lot out of me. That year built me.
But at the end, I can show you guys like what my apartment kind of looks like. It still looks like this
30
since
days
I
of
finished
clean
the
shit
project.
up. 30 days just
like
kind of covers up,
60%
put a blanket
of my
over
living
it.
quarters.
It's like putting
maybe
a rug
even
over.
70% is.
A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person.
This is what the basement used to look like. I cleaned out this stuff, but this is that one room, spare room. And this is my living room and dining room. Camera A. So that's really what happened to them. They're literally just there. And they wake up every morning and they taunt me. One flood and it's all over. I need to roll a bunch of dark chocolate truffles for Mish for tomorrow, but I'm having a hard time getting started. I already have ganache made, but rolling the truffles is crazy. Yo, I'm so jealous that you guys get to have some truffles, yo. Well, get on those truffles, yo. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Really thin right on that middle part, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Okay. I kind of need to needle this off, but I don't really want to. Alright. If I was worried you tossed them. No, I really think I should though. I feel like I gotta get rid of them. It's kind of like annoying to have them all, like, I don't think I've had, maybe other than my mom and my dad who came to visit me a couple times, nobody's came in the house like at all really. Like what am I gonna do? Invite my friends over and be like, hey guys, like let's sit on the floor, you know? It's kind of like really bad for like a social life to do stuff like that. So would I recommend it to people to do something like that? Totally. I would totally recommend it. Just know, like, you kind of give up a lot of things when you do stuff like that. But sometimes that's what you need to do, right? Right underneath. What's so many? What is your? Is that what your house looks like right now? Yes. Seriously, it's like the same exact. Hasn't moved at all since. When did I finish? In August, maybe, or September. I'm not really liking this one, to be honest. You know, but it's kind of cute. It's kind of just like a more vessel than cup. We'll trim that kind of nicely, I think, in the future. Have a good time. Yeah. Now, Save the Forest, you'll have a chance to fire them someday, and we'll have a show. It will be epic. I hope so. It's a light bulb cup. I didn't even think about the bottom being like the screws for a light bulb. That's hilarious. And then have a show. That'll be, yeah, we'll see. Sacrifice for the art. Yeah, you gotta a little bit, right? I don't know. I thought about it, but before I even did the project, I was like, okay, what's something that I know a lot of people wouldn't want to do, and let's do that, right? There's kind of like you find some stuff in the paths that nobody takes, right? So. I got some weird air pockets in here, but that's okay. Right into the bottom edge here. Wow, there's really a lot. Hold on. I might just trash this one because it's kind of like. We want these to collapse. Okay. So hold on, we really want to collapse these though. I'm gonna do this one. Like inner tubes or something. I don't know if I like this. Well, you see how we're trying to get it thin enough that we can do like this weird little fold over? Yeah, we'll see. There's one lady on Instagram, I feel like she does a lot of these like collapsed like inner tube forms, and then what she'll do is she'll pinch those and throw like little discs on them. I can't imagine that they're easy clean, but I feel like it's not really about that. She also does them kind of wider, so maybe they are easy to clean. Drink from it and get good ideas. The light bulb cup. That's funny. Alrighty. We didn't do any kind of just normal straight up and down cups, so let's do like maybe like 2. Also, now we can kind of like work with it. We got it in a more manageable thing, so let's kind of work with this a little bit. We're gonna probably remove a lot of it because a lot of it's not actually even attached. Like I can feel like a ton of the clay down here is like not really attached to the rest of this. So look at all this kind of stuff that's just not attached. Alrighty. This up. Push them down. Pull it out. Pull up. Underneath. I'm feeling some of those air pockets there. So going right up underneath this little edge here. Kind of walk that to a corner. Just kind of rehash that middle, okay. The middle peaked up a little bit, so go back into that middle. Make sure it's a little smooth down over to this corner. Then I find that corner, create a new bump, and I lift that up from there. And we're going to take our little wooden knife tool, or our wooden rib tool here. A little simple form, you know. All right. Go right up underneath. Side. Let me say hello. Zoom? You guys really see? Yeah, I guess so. Like, would you like to tell something about your mission as why you do this? Or if there is something you like to accomplish in terms of dream? I mean, I think deep down, I think we're all trying to find some sense of like peace in our lifetime, right? Like, not just peace with others, but peace with oneself, right? I think that's like what I'm trying to do, but how I'm trying to do that in a couple ways, I would say, like, I think a lot of times in my life, I didn't have like tangible value, right? And so I grew up in like digital world, right? So like, there was always technology, but my whole life felt like it was like transcribed into ones and zeros that my whole life could fit on a thumb drive, right? And so I think making is a sort of remedy for that, personally, right? Obviously, I want to be like the best, right? I don't want to do anything like, well, I don't want to go into something thinking I want to just be like mediocre. So I want to be the best, but I think more so than being the best is I want to live in the minds of the people who are the best, right? Like how I think about it. Camera A. All right, let's see if I can show here. Okay, so how I think about it is like, you got like your famous pottery people, right? Like you got them, and then, you know, they'll make like 100 things in like, you know, like 5 months, right? Because they're getting a little spoiled with their time and money that they're getting, right? And they're sitting there and they're just making like 100 things, and then they sell out of them instantly, and they're selling them for like $150 a cup, you know, like they're just totally milking people, right? And then they're rude in their comment sections, like they have, don't get me wrong, I love ego, right? But they have such a twisted negative version of their ego. And so what I want to do is like, when those people like go to sleep, like I want to be the image of me just here kind of like processing and making, like in their mind. Like when they close their mind after a day of just relaxing, I want them to see the pottery demon fucking prancing around in their dreams, you know? Like I literally want to live in their nightmares. So I feel like that's more so, like that brings me a little bit of joy on the side of doing, like bringing myself peace, right? But yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. So, yeah, I gotta get to work though on doing that, you know. That's why as soon as I get enough money, I'm gonna just freaking move out in the woods, and I'm just gonna fill up warehouses and warehouses and warehouses, you know. I want to like show somebody like an image, and like just from them seeing that image, they just want to like, they want to go work on something, you know? Yeah. A little bit. I mean, you've probably seen, I'm just so sick of seeing like people's work not really being about like the work at all. Like, I like if there's like a balance between the work and the person, right? That's fine, right? But I feel like so much work nowadays is not even about the work at all, you know? And so, I don't know, I get a little bit irritated whenever I go online and I just see a bunch of garbage. I think it's starting to collapse a little bit too much, so you can see it's wobbling in that middle. Oh well. Call this one here. Like famous Warren Mackenzie potter did not sign pots because people would make money off of him. That's so funny. I also don't sign my stuff at all, ever. I don't know. I feel like when you sign something, I feel like you like imagine if on the bottom of all my trees, like it literally just says Pottery Demon, you know, like I feel like it would just ruin what the vessel was trying to do, right? It becomes about something else and it places the object in a different realm, right? Somebody said RAR :3. It's so nice, by the way. Ah, thank you. So I guess there's still a positive message in that, some sort of power of resilience. Yeah, I think totally there's some message of like resilience in there. I just feel like I see so many people I just see so many people just like not like disrespect like clay, because I don't even think I'm not like the one who knows how to do it. You know what I mean? But I just hate how people gatekeep certain ways of making and certain understandings on how the work should function. And so I kind of want to just disrupt all that. Like I kind of want to be like a pottery nuke, you know, and just blow it all to smithereens. But we'll see. I'm still working on it. Right now I'm kind of in a weird scenario. Like I'm applying to different places, like jobs. So sometimes it's a little stressful. Like if I have to move, I'm not really going to be able to move like all those pots, right? And I'm not going to be able to stream as easy as I can. Pottery Godzilla, totally. But I got to be more crazy, you know? Like think about like this stream, for example. Like it's not really like making these cups isn't really doing anything crazy. It's not doing anything new. It's literally just like I'm just making vessels while talking right now, right? So like right now, I kind of would say that what I'm doing now, I think the tree or the water whistles are more closely linked to something that has a stronger opinion on like the world of pottery. But like what I'm doing now is like I think it's more so like I'm practicing for something, right? And so if you don't know what to do, I guess just practice, right? Would you like to make an ornate chamber pot for a queen? What is a chamber pot? Is that a toilet? Isn't like chamber and French toilet? If anybody speaks French here, they can let me know. I kind of like this. This is a nice little pot here, right? Do you remember the rain? Sorry, kind of going silly. I don't know what you mean by the rain. Gotta go, but good luck. Hope to see you again. Bye. Yep. Thanks for stopping in. I don't know what you mean by the rain. Is that like a song? Are you a person named Rain? I know somebody like who had a gamer tag named Rain. Your work night might not be unique, but haven't seen anyone else minify themselves on a green screen in front of the vessels. Yeah, I guess that's true, but like one day I'd hope that like when you look at a vessel of mine, like you literally like it feels like totally something like you haven't seen before, but not in like the garbage kind of way. And I don't mean like garbage and like bad, I mean like literal like visual garbage, right? Like I think a lot of pottery people nowadays go for like visual garbage, you know? Like hopefully it doesn't sound too pejorative, but like you've seen like to slap all the glazes on it, like make the thick clay, it's like high clay melted glaze, right? Like it looks like little sausages that just melt a little bit, you know? Like it's just enough flux to make it bend, right? And I just think that I don't like that. I think it's so strong of a style to make things like that nowadays, where it's like, I think you're placing yourself and you're actually like, a lot of people would say like you're embracing individuality, but I feel like you're almost like not doing that. You're like working inside a genre of pots now, right? And so if that's what you want to do, that's fine, right? But I just feel like I don't want to get into like the visual garbage side of pottery. I think like there's an era for that, and I just don't think we're living in that era necessarily. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to roast me or lecture me on why I'm wrong. I am totally fine with disagreement, you know. Your practice shows you're very, I don't know, I'm okay. The throwing is the thing that I would say I'm the best at in my whole practice is the throwing. Everything else, not so much, you know. Yeah, chamber pot is an old-fashioned toilet kept in a bedroom, and that's what you use at night. See, look, a couple years of my taking French class, I rocked it, yo. Let's give you like a French word is, you know, the French word for squirrel is écureuil. Or how about fish, poisson. You know, I got some French cooked up in there for you guys. I actually noticed a lot of like some of my people who even join the streams are from like Europe. somewhere in Europe, I feel like. I think your work is pretty dang unique. I haven't seen other potters with a similar style. I think when I'm throwing other things, then yes, but when I'm throwing right now, probably not. Thank you for sharing your message. In my opinion, practicing is part of the pottery story. It's also a way to get ideas. If you only show the parts you think are interesting, you aren't telling the whole story. Whoa! I like what you said there. I think yeah, there's some truth to that, but like the only thing is like, if yours is about doing the whole story, that I think that's actually like a fine way to make work and be engaged with online content through that way. I just want to show the things that I'm enjoying, really, you know? Like I don't want to show the things that are the best, right? Because I don't want to like, I'm just not one of those people. Like there's thousands of hours of me screwing up pots online, right? But I want to just show the people the things that I get excited about and I'm having a good time doing, because I think that's when like a little bit more of myself comes through. I think kind of like the real excitement of my ideas don't come through like when I'm sitting there trimming. I feel like the excitement of my ideas happen more so when I'm like... Also, this is a terrible vessel here. It's like really thin in some areas, but we're just gonna keep this and go next. I'm getting a little bit... I was talking too much, so now the clay is a little bit too soft. But does that kind of make sense? Like, I want to show the content that I think is most akin to showing where my sort of drive lies. And it's definitely not in the trimming. But I show you guys the post-trim stuff too, and like the little edited content. If you guys see that stuff. I feel like it gets buried in other things. This piece gives an architecture feel. When scaled up, it's cool. So in a way, your stance, the work, have kind of an anti-eye candy style. In a way, your stance and work have kind of an anti-eye candy style. When it comes to what I was saying before, when it comes to like the visual garbage stuff, then yeah, I would say like I'm trying to like, I think my like when I'm making things, I want to try to like get away from that thing. Like it's like in the back of my mind as I'm making, right? Like, but I also think like I want to get into mocking a little bit more, like mocking certain forms and certain vessels. Like I feel like how many people have done there's so many artists who do like the very like round form, like simple form, right? All for a simple form, right? But then they put a gradient on it. Oh, put a gradient on it and clouds. They just shove clouds on everything, right? So I'm gonna make some pots here that are just simple forms with gradients and clouds, and just kind of mocking a little bit, and then also the little cute face on the side of cups. Like I want to do some like that too. So I want to do like a larger series of like mocking pots. I feel like it'd be kind of fun. And I don't want it to be like I kind of want to make fun of people, but I don't want it to be like in a way that's just like easily disregarded, right? I feel like there's not enough like beef that people have when making, and so I think it's like that's a healthy thing to have, is beef for the whole entire like world. I think it's good to have like I hate using the word craft, but for the craft of pottery, like it's good to have like beef, because it helps people push past like what they would normally want to make. And so I think like kind of teasing people on what they make is not what people are doing enough. People are too nice, I feel like, these days. kind of think like the most honest conversation you'll have in the world is when you're talking with someone that doesn't like you. Because they're definitely going to tell you exactly how they feel about you. You know what I mean? And I kind of like those honest conversations. But, okay. So, this is the last one. Oh no, not the googly eyes, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like there's a ton of like little face googly cute pots that people make. And then I want to make a couple of big ones to like roast the big potters, you know? So I feel like there's a couple of like pottery dudes who are like just only throw large things. And then like, this is me getting a little bit too beef, so I'll chill out in a second. But like, they'll throw a piece, and they literally have like zero control over what that, maybe from like a lay person who doesn't know about the work or like about the process, you know, like they would say like, oh wow, look at that amount of clay, right? But like for someone who kind of knows how clay moves and you see people like attempt to throw these big things, like you almost know that they're not ready for it just by the way that they're interacting with that material, right? And so they make this like, you know, the pot looks fine, whatever, right? But you can tell like they didn't really like pull up the clay. They're not like, I'll say this like, and I mean it kind of like in a weird ways, like they're not doing the clay justice, right? Like when it's on there, like when the clay, you get to ready to do a pull, like you are like engaging with like a dance with the clay, right? And so imagine like somebody is like stepping all over your shoes, and then like you see just like this hot like shit show of a like performance, and then they go like ta-da, and then everybody claps anyways, and then you're just sitting around like, wait, why are we clapping? You know, like I think like when I see a lot of those like potters who just throw big to throw big and catch eyes, like I kind of get a little annoyed because I'm like, you're kind of disrespecting the clay a little bit, you know? There's nothing wrong with throwing medium-sized things until you can like get to that size. But I think if like you're making these large things and you're playing it off like you're goated, I don't know, I get a little salty. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like a lot of times the propane, you can if you want to. Well, first I think a lot of people don't use the propane torch; they'll use a heat gun. But for the people that do use the propane torch, they'll bring out the propane torch like it's like something badass, you know? It's like, here I'll show you guys what I think it's like. They're like this. Imagine this is the torch. They're like, all right, here's how the intro would feel like goes. Hey guys, welcome. We are going to be using a torch. Woo! You know, and then they're like, whoa, like the torch does so much for the object. Whoa. And then like really they actually like screw it up, but then they play it off. It worked perfectly. I don't know, dude. I just feel like it's just silly. It's just silly. So I feel like those people need to get made fun of a little bit. But I'm not ready to make that sort of content yet. Like, I feel like I gotta really just focus on my own things and kind of develop my own ideas first, and then I can roast people later. I hope you guys, like next time you guys are around, like and you're just perusing pottery content, just really take a look at like what they're doing, like what they're talking about, and how they're presenting themselves in their work, right? Like some people are really kind of like deceitful with their work, I feel like. You know? And I think that that's like really wrong, personally. Hope you become the ultimate pottery demon. It's gonna take years before I become the ultimate pottery demon. Alright guys. So I try not to judge, but yeah, that gets me too. It's all the likes and gives people the wrong idea about working with clay, and then people try clay and get frustrated because they learn it's hard. Yeah, totally. I have to deal with that in a lot of my classes with some of my students. Like, you know, I think that the way that it's presented online is like it's this sweet, like peaceful process that is just like, it's really romanticized, right? But I actually think like that's not what you want. Like when you work with clay, like you want it to be a battle, you want it to be a little bit difficult, you want to be frustrated. Like that's what makes the whole thing kind of worth it, right? It's like this little solo battle you have with you versus the material, and you kind of get to these points where it's like, I don't even know, it's like it becomes oddly internal, right? Like your whole universe becomes like right here. Like everything else disappears from just in this moment, right? And you're facing very simple things like spinning material and maybe I guess like your own internal dialogue of like creativity maybe, right? But I also don't like the word creativity. But anyway, you know, like I think that's more so what the making pots is kind of about, or just working with clay. It's that battle. All right, so here we go, guys. This is our ones from today. Wheel. There we go, guys. We'll rinse our hands here. Alrighty, guys. Sorry we got so heated at the end of the thing here. I feel like the last 4 or 5 vessels, I was literally just on autopilot fuming. That's so funny. Camera A? Camera A? Oh, it is camera A. We gotta zoom. We'll zoom out a little bit here. All right. Good? Oh, wait. Ka-chow. Ka-chow. All right. Here we go, guys. Good evening, chili dogs. What you focus on grows. Feed them horses. You know, I was looking at a lot of Chinese zodiac stuff right now because it's Chinese New Year, and I'm a what is it called? I'm a rabbit, right? But my dad, he's the one who taught me or showed me like that whole little thing that I just did, like what you focus on grows, feed them horses, right? And guess what my dad's zodiac is? He's a horse. How funny is that, right? Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. All the best and strong mentality. Ka-chow. We'll give you guys one little overlay, outro. Maybe like, which one you guys want to see? These are some of the other ones. Maybe we'll do this one.